Can you handle spicy horn voicings? I've arranged the whole head of Oleo with some thick, crunchy 5-part voicings, and I changed each A section slightly so you can hear which one you prefer, if any. I also tried some experimental harmonies in the bridge. To test these spicy chords, I thought we'd better make sure to use real players so we can hear what the crunchiness is really like. Thanks to Patricio for playing the saxes, and Frederick for playing the trumpet for me. For the first A section, I stacked the notes under the melody, usually leaving at least a third to the melody. You can have a second to the melody in some instances, but too many of them obscures the melody. My harmonization generally follows the rules I set out in earlier videos where I harmonize passages in the style of Gil Evans, except that rule 1, write an interesting bass line, is relaxed as the bass line is quite high in the range. On this first note, I don't have the root note on the lowest horn. I have the baritone sax playing a ninth. I just leave it completely to the walking bass to outline the roots of the chords. In a few places I do rely on some root notes in the lowest horn where I think it would make for a nice melody or resolution. I am making sure to follow my rule 4 though, don't repeat notes in the same part in a row, as I think at this tempo it's nice for the player to move pitch when the melody moves. This gives them the best chance of really swinging their part. There are a couple of tasty chords and moments, such as this G7 flat 9 flat 13. The original lead sheet has a G7 here, so I included a B natural. Making the chord a flat 9 allows me to use the A in the next chord without repeating notes in the same part. I started to consider the bass line here, as I thought landing nicely on this F7 might be nice. Here's what it sounds like so far. This chord is a bit different to what you might expect. I changed it to make sure each part was moving to the next chord, as this chord is more important. To end the first A section, I utilize a lower bass line. This can be a bit tricky for the baritone sax to play, but I like the strong resolution here. Now if you think it's too spicy having voicings this dense, don't worry, it's been done before. But the key, like anything, is balance. Gil Evans, Thad Jones and lots of arrangers have done this, but to relieve some of the tension, the voicings will often open up at an appropriate time in the melody. Have a look at this example from Gil Evans' arrangement of Greensleeves. It starts off super dense and opens up as the lowest horn works its way down at a great moment in the melody. And that's what I tried out in the second A section. I continue with some fairly dense harmonies and include some passages where the bass horn goes into more of a solid range. I did this in the third bar where I had a really solid F7 flat 9 with the bass line working its way down from a higher range. I also ended up placing the third under this B flat 9 chord, which rises nicely to the root of the next chord. I wanted to keep this line going, so I made sure to place the E natural and F on important points in the melody. To end the second A section, I wrote a nice descending bass line and filled the 3 inner parts to make the chord all 5-part harmonies. Here's what the second A section sounds like. Do you like it better than the first A section? The Barry part is a little more tuneful, and maybe there's more balance with the open voicings dotted throughout. Let me know what you think in the comments. Just a note on the orchestration. Using a sax section is great as they sound quite homogeneous and are agile enough to play quick passages like this. But as the harmony is so thick, I thought it would be good to add another instrument to the melody to give it some extra strength, so it can be heard clearly. Here's a small segment without the trumpet and bass, just the saxes. And here it is with the trumpet back in. It clears the melody up a bit, doesn't it? I'll come back to the fun bridge after the third A section. In the last A section I kept a lot of the same voicings, but composed an independent counterpoint for the baritone sax. These can be really fun to write and have a play around with. You can choose which moments you want to join up with the melody. I started off outlining the bass notes, and then composed a rising line catching various chord tones and root notes, which culminated in the tonic right at the end of the phrase. I like the long rising melody coming upwards over the course of 4 bars. Here's what the melody and bass line sound like together. It did leave some chords without a root note, but I think at this quick tempo and the fact that it's the third time through means it sounds just fine. And of course, there is a walking bass in there as well. Here is what the third A section sounds like. Which is your favourite of the 3 A sections? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll play the entire head at the end of the video, including my experimental B section. Now if you're really into this stuff, you can buy a PDF of this head with all the chords labelled, as well as analysis of my choices. Or you could buy my intermediate workbook from my Ko-fi page. My intermediate workbook is a collection of ideas and teachings that I've condensed from studying Gill and Bach over the years. It has heaps of exercises and examples of voicings, 5-part harmony, and how to harmonize passages in a soli type of texture. It even has the answers in the back. Links are in the description. For the bridge, my collaborator and trumpet player Frederick Erlandson wrote this contrasting melody especially for this video, and I found it a bit tricky to harmonize. So I tried various parallel chords and I settled on major 7ths without the 5th. Does that mean I completely ignored the existing chords? Yes, but that's the sort of badass I am. But honestly, at this tempo and on standards with common chord progressions like this one, you can change the chords quite a lot, and it can still sound okay. Well, you tell me if you think it sounds okay. Here's the bridge. Then I added another rising baritone line to the bridge to tie it all together. However, this does follow the original chords. The different rhythm also helps to add some interest. And to top it off, I have one of the tenor saxes soloing over the top of it all. When the harmony is really out there with parallel chords or something similar, it can provide a really open platform for the soloist, which can be really fun. Does it suit the arrangement? You be the judge. Here's the entire head played by Frederick and Patricio. Check out their YouTube channels. If you enjoy my work, you can support me on Ko-fi. Peace.